Hello, thanks for joining me. I'm at Llantud Church, or rather the former Llantud Church, now being converted into a house, and I've come to visit the grave of a man whose boyhood bravery was once famous. David James Wigley was born in April 1873, the son of James Wigley, a sailmaker, and his wife Margaret. He was born in Ebons Lane in Cardigan. His parents had 3 boys and 3 girls. David was the eldest son. Tragedy struck the family in 1883 when David was just 10 years old and the family were living at 2 Arthur's Quay in Cardigan. His father was arrested for stealing carpentry tools at St Dogmael's. He was sent to Carmarthen jail for 2 weeks pending trial, but the newspaper report says his mind appeared to be deranged. Shortly afterwards, he was admitted to the Cardigan workhouse as a lunatic pauper, and by the time of the 1891 census, he was dead. His family were then living at Lower Malden, a poor area of Cardigan, and his mother and eldest sister were working as brick packers at the nearby Cardigan brickworks. His younger brother John was an engine fitter, and David was a sailor. It was an unpromising start in life, but David James Wigley had, by the time he had gone to sea to help support his family, already earned himself an excellent name. He was, in fact, a local hero. In May 1889, when he was just 15, he was playing near the Malden River when a 3-year-old girl called Anne Jenkins threw a stone into the river and then fell in after it. There were plenty of people about, but though they cried for help, not one jumped in to save her. David heard their cries and jumped into the river, which was full as it was high tide, and succeeded in bringing her to safety. She was attended by a doctor and made a full recovery. As if this act of courage wasn't amazing enough, the newspaper report tells us he'd done the same thing before. In fact, he had rescued 3 other children from drowning in the few years previous to this, the first when he was only 10. His second rescue was the son of the editor of the Cardigan Observer, the third his own brother. He was recommended to the Royal Humane Society for recognition of his bravery and was awarded a bronze medal, which was presented to him in the Guildhall, Cardigan, by the mayor. It was said at the meeting that he was living in poverty, and it was decided to start a fund for him, which would be given to him when he reached the age of 20. After the meeting, he was carried high on the shoulders of some young men to his home. Unfortunately, he slightly blotted his copybook. In 1894, when aged 21 and working as a labourer, he was fined for throwing a stone at a policeman during a rowdy fireworks incident just before bonfire night. David had a long career as a mariner. His wife Rachel moved to New Cottage, Llantud, in the early 20th century, moving later to Kilgerran, first living with her sister and at a later date living with her husband at a house called Highbury. They had married in about 1901 and had a daughter called Martha Patty, named after Madam Patty, the then famous Welsh opera singer. David is absent from the census returns in the early 20th century. He was probably away at sea. Their daughter married David John Reed, and they lived together at Highbury with her parents. He died in 1948, struck by lightning whilst working on a tractor in a storm. Martha died in 1972 and is buried here near her parents. David James Wigley died in 1956, aged 83. I hope you found his story interesting. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, and as always, thank you for watching.